after this episode, I'm unwell. I don't think I've ever cried this much watching a reality television show.
Yeah.
And that includes when Haruto got eliminated on Boys Planet. I think I cried less at that than I cried at this episode.
Yeah.
As a whole piece.
No tears left to cry, bitch. But the thing is, I just know next week it's going to be the floodgates.
Girl.
Some of the berets have been like, I love watching these with you guys, but know that on Friday when this episode drops, I will be watching it live.
Yeah.
I need to know how the show ends, and then I'll watch with you guys later.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you.
No, I don't blame you either.
You should probably watch it first thing Saturday.
Well, I have a personal training appointment at 10 a.m. And I have a feeling this episode's going to be 3 hours long again, so I'm going to really have to find time to buckle down and get through it. Because, Mama, this one, we had to split up.
We had to split
Our
this
first
up.
Our
first split premiere.
Split premiere.
We had to split the episode because we got so tired after the second hour that we were like, I gotta go to bed.
The fact that there are...
And then because the second hour was just tier after tier.
Legitimately...
It was the Dongjin Dahe hour.
Oh my God.
They had the full hour, Adam.
Legitimately, I do not know what they could have cut from the episode. Like, truly, I was like watching it.
Even from the Minhyung Sangjeong, which it was
spent
very tight.
5 minutes on, yeah.
But I was like, that is the enough time. Everyone had just the amount of time that they needed.
Let's just do X match couples.
Okay.
So we started this episode with Sangjeong Minhyung. Okay, there's not a lot to discuss here. They go ice skating. Very cute.
And I said this in the reaction. I could see why for Sangjeong, she might feel like I have to make this work because of the fact that he also speed skated at a very young age and then left. But the fact that they were in the same world, you could tell there's already an understanding that I think Sangjeong already has of him, even though he still nags her.
Totally.
But I think that probably what propelled them to get so close so fast was because she probably felt like, well, he already knows kind of my deal.
It's not a great reason to be with someone, I would say, but
you still have to have...
I guess I get it to some extent. You have like a shared, maybe not a shared history, but you have a shared understanding of like personal... whatever, you know what I mean?
Which was such a defining thing about her life.
It's just crazy because everyone online, the panel, us, everyone in comments is like, they are picking each other and no one is like
excited, like, oh my God.
And the weirdest thing is like the show is set up so you're supposed to root for people who match up
again.
You're supposed to be like, this is love has won.
Especially for the exes to be like, they were able to break through.
Right.
They're not breaking through.
No,
it's just continuing the first link.
Right. I mean, maybe, I guess, if anything, like, I hope this proves to the show, like, you really shouldn't. There needs to be a gap of time. Even if it's, like, not enough for them to, like, find closure in the relationship. The show doesn't really want you to come into the show having already had closure on your relationship. Like, that's kind of the point of the show. So, like... But personally, I wish that Dae-hae and Dongjin had, like, had more time.
Yes.
But, like, show-wise, I understand why you're like, well...
Yeah. But then on the flip side, you also can't get people who haven't had closure because then it feels so imbalanced with everyone else. They feel like look and feel crazy compared to everyone else.
I mean, it just is like,
you know,
it's just like two people where you're like,
you have to
like
get
if
through
you're their friend, you're just like, again.
They're doing it again. They just have to get through it and figure it out.
Do you have any friends, or have you ever had any friends that like fight publicly? Oh, I was earnestly asking. Okay, never mind. We'll move on. I do like that she told him that she is frustrated by the nagging.
Yes.
She was like, it's really the issue. And he's like, I don't know why I do it.
Don't know why I do it. He does say it, and I'm like, there. Okay, he and Changjin are the two people that kind of admit
their own
fault in a way. I think Changjin obviously goes in a true introspective place. Minhyung is still in that first place
boys
of like, I know how to do it. Boys.
I would say Huiyeon, especially in the last episode, is finally at a place where he's like, I messed up.
Yeah.
Definitely is. Changjin for sure is like the only person who's like, these are the specific mistakes I made.
And these are the things I will do.
I know what the mistakes are, and I know how to correct them moving forward. No one else has gotten to that point, but also no one else is 33. So
yeah.
There you go.
Minhyung at least is like, yeah, I don't know why I do it.
Yeah.
Which I guess you know that you do it. And you know that it's wrong if you're having like some regret.
If you're talking about it. And I mean, to his credit, I mean, I'm sure he really doesn't like
to do it.
Well, not that, but I really don't think he likes making Sangjeong cry, right?
Yeah,
I don't think he delights in making her feel bad.
Yeah.
I just don't think you're like compatible people. Like you should be with someone who is like water off a duck's back about everything.
You should be with people who you don't feel like you have to do that to.
Well,
there's like a subconscious.
Ideally, sure. Yeah. I unfortunately feel like he feels like he has very specific standards that I don't think anybody's gonna hit. But I think he needs to do some growth, and I think also she needs to do some growth, and I think none of that growth needs to happen together. We just need to.
They need to be like, these were two ships that.
Should I choose the smoothest course?
Yes. Okay.
Daddy has a They showed who they picked, and I guess this is because they don't end up matching, so they're just going to let us know. So Sangjeong picked Juwon, and Minhyung picked Haewon. And that tells me that they are 100% picking each other.
Absolutely.
In the next episode.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Congrats to them.
Okay, next is Yoojung and Changjin. They go to this like this black pork restaurant that is like so podunk.
Their backdrop is the parking lot.
They are sitting in the parking lot.
Empty parking lot.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell because Changjin chose this place because they had been there the last time they went to Jeju together. You can tell it's his choice because all the choices that like
everyone else made,
or just like the show provides as like options.
Pretty picturesque,
yes.
And they are sitting on 2 milk crates on a parking lot,
literally
eating
that.
What I'm sure is the most incredible pork that exists in the world.
Oh my
Truly.
God.
I bet it was so delicious.
I was watching it so hungry.
Yeah.
I'm sure you felt like shit.
Yeah.
She in this conversation, Yoojung, my queen.
Yoojung, our hero.
Our president. Yoojung for like leader of the world.
Yeah.
Leader of the free world.
Literally.
Yoojung. She is giving him every opportunity to vocalize what he's gonna do differently and like assuage her concerns. The problem is that Changjin is not a talker.
Yeah.
Changjin is not
he wants to show it by action. He wants to show it by spending time with you. He's very attentive.
He's very attentive. He's completely considerate.
Yes.
And he is like very like I think he's very good at like action.
Yeah.
More than words.
Yeah. He is not saying the things that she wants to hear.
No, there are very specific items on her little list that she wants to hear. And
I need for you to say
these words to me.
Yes.
The whole thing their whole deal, right, was that when times got tough, he did not share with her. He cut her out, basically. And it made her feel very lonely, which I'm sure felt awful.
It's the worst feeling to feel when you're in a relationship.
100%. And so she asks him in this conversation, what happens if things get tough for you again?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, there's no guarantees, but I would do my best. Which is like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is the correct answer. There is no guarantees. Of course, you want to like stipulate that and be like, I can't promise you the sun and the moon and the stars, blah, 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 blah. But in this setting,
in this game where you're trying to win her back.
But that's the thing, is that what I really like about Changjin, because I think I am a similar way. I do not like to push for something if it's like not going to be hard work, but like you are a person of your own mind and volition. Like you are allowed to make your own choices. So I am a person who I feel like Changjin, where I would present myself and be like, this is what I'm offering. These are my goods and services. I'm not a salesman, right?
Yeah,
I'm not going to sell myself.
Yes, it's like take it or leave it.
Right. And it's not even like cold like that. It's just like, you know, I've really done some growth here and I've really learned about myself. And I'm like, I've learned that I'm able to like share more than I ever thought I would be able to.
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah. And I hope that like can change your mind. But I'm not going to be like, I'm not a Kwangtae who's going to be like,
yes,
really
I'll do whatever you
go
want.
for it.
Yeah.
Like try.
He keeps repeating the fact that like, I never thought I would do the things that I do in the show. I really think the show changed me. These last 2 weeks have really shown me that I'm more capable of things. That I think out of all of them, he's the person who feels comfortable with like, this is who I am versus these are things that I can do differently, that I'm willing to change without feeling like I'm losing myself or like being disingenuous to myself. But
because like one of the things like he's attentive about, like he changed that phone case.
Yes. But for her, she was like, I wish you said that's why you did it. Because he was like, oh, I just changed it.
No, he was like, it's always been this.
No, he was like, it's just a case. Like he was very like playing it very cool.
Yeah.
Even though when he did it, he was like, I his talking head, it was like,
yeah.
I didn't think it would be right.
Right.
But she was like, yeah, but like, tell me that.
Yeah.
Say that like, well, I don't think it would be right. Because then for her, it would be like, so you are attentive. You are thinking about us.
But but I guess my question is, and I do feel like a type of way about Changjin, because I think I am very similar to him. What is me also saying it going to tell you that you didn't already know by just seeing me having done it?
I think I think it really hurt her.
Yeah, that he didn't talk. It's about communication.
When he shut her out. When they are sharing spaces together, they're literally spending every day together, and it's like, you're clearly not telling me your troubles. I really think because that has festered so bad that now she's like, so you won't tell me anything, period. Even the things you like, even the things you like about me.
Yeah.
I think it's more about that.
Yeah. It's a bummer because I do think, did we say this last week? I think they're the two that could like leave the show and I'd be like happy that they worked out.
Yes. But I think when they have the conversation at the end of the episode, that really got me. That was like, I really think this could work.
Yeah. So Yoojung chose Juwon and Changjin chose Dahye. Let's go to Seokyoung and Juwon. So they go out. They drive around. They go to a restaurant. They go have dinner, lunch, whatever. And I will be the first to say, of all the ex couples on this show, they 100% have the best chemistry.
I know.
It is so easy and natural, and they like
in a different
gel.
way, like Changjin and Yoojung, where I think they feel like comfortable with one another.
They feel comfortable with one another, but like
here it is.
They're so witty, and they
Yeah.
like enjoy talking to each other so much when it's like good.
Yeah.
Right? Like when it's great, it's great.
I know.
I don't understand. Let's imagine a world, right, where they choose each other after the show. How on earth do both? I mean, both, truly both.
Yeah.
Like a little more Seokyoung. How does she watch this show and not flip her shit?
Yeah.
Because like Juwon says things, and I don't think he's like being duplicitous or deceptive to Seokyoung or Yoojung. Like I don't think he's two-faced in any way. But there are things he says in private with Yoojung where he's like, you've been some of my best memories here, blah 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 blah.
Really-
and of course he has, because
We saw it.
he has
Yes.
had so many shit memories with Seokyoung on this show.
Yes. They haven't had good moments.
But like, I imagine being Seokyoung and like he chose you, right? It's 6 months later after the show, or whatever, 5 months later, whatever. And then you would like, I would lose my mind.
because I'd be like, wow, we were shit to one another during the show.
Do you think there's that? I am unsure that Seokyoung is I mean, hopefully seeing it is such a different thing, right?
Yes.
And it's so far away. I think that's the other benefit of the show. This happened in October, where you would start watching in January. It's right, like once they get to Jeju, it's like March. So like that's so long. You would kind of forget what the fights were about.
Yes, totally.
So you don't have the like, oh, I know what I meant. Like, but on the other hand, you would know the whole conversation you had as opposed to the edited version that arrived on the show.
That's true.
So you could also feel a type of way about being like, I feel like I was edited to look like crazy or whatever.
But they're not
I just
going to
don't
show.
know if Seokyoung has introspection in that way.
But they're not going to show you like all of their fights. Probably were like 2-3 hour conversations. They're not going to show the whole thing.
They're
They're
so
gonna
exhausted. I just got so tired hearing that sentence. Could you imagine?
Could you imagine? Like if it had Big Brother like live feeds, I'd be like, "Girl, turn this fucking thing
Turn
off."
it
They are
off,
saying the
girl.
same things over.
No, I
and
need
over
the edited. I can't
Yeah.
just watch it raw. No raw, no uncut. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Eye contact is very important for Seokyoung, which we have learned, and Juwon really knows that.
Really knows that,
Mm-hmm.
and they show a lot of clips of him he does it a lot.
Can we talk about when they're on the beach? They're walking on the beach.
They
are
make
very
a little
cute
thing.
together.
Yes. They're
They
playful.
dig a little
they put
heart
camera
hole.
in the
Right.
thing. Yeah.
They write in the sand, "Let's be happy." And then the wave washes it away.
Mama, that's an omen. And then they try to rewrite
I'm not like
it. And
superstitious, but like,
listen to the whispers, as Oprah said. Listen to the whispers.
the whispers are screaming at this point. They are hollering. Let's be happy separately. Let's be happy apart from each other. I respect that there are people who really want them to get back together.
Yeah.
I am not one of those people. I just think like I think there's been too much hurt. I think it's a similar thing with Daehae and Dongjin. I just think there's like too much hurt that you need, at the very least, you need like time apart from each other. Truly.
I really think it can work if they both admit that they are both wrong. In a way that is true, and not in the Juwon way where it's like, okay, then yeah, I'm wrong. Let's just move on.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's so important for you. Because it's so important for you to blame for it to be someone's fault.
Who are you talking to?
Huh?
The show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's so important
For you.
for you.
I mean, it is iconic. I mean, it is incredibly iconic to like
women's
do
rights
this
and
whole
women's
show.
wrongs. Yeah.
Not even that, but like do this whole show and let like I do not know how she is going to make this decision. I kind of have a feeling about pretty much every other person. I wouldn't say like 100% certainty.
They played
like,
it very close that Yu Jeong is also like you don't know
swayed,
who.
right?
But like Seokyeon could pick Huihyun.
I still feel like I feel 60% one way for Yu Jeong.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, it is a grab bag. I would not be surprised if she like gets in there and she's like, actually, I've really discovered myself and I'm picking Kyewan. I really think we hit it off. Like, I just would nothing.
I want
would
to be an
shock me.
Onni. Yeah.
Nothing would shock me, and all of it will shock me.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Because
might-
she's just been so
might not
close to
pick
the
someone.
chest about how she feels.
Totally.
But even like, I do think she is like, I don't really like anyone here.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
I think
It's
Juwon
just
is her
Juwon
type.
is the closest
Yeah.
one. They are gutted when they get the text that the X date is done because they barely talk to one another.
They barely talked. I really wish they had said like on the text, it said like their date was an hour and a half, like something like I want to know how long they had because every couple was like, I feel like we didn't get a chance to talk. And
but that's
I'm like,
the thing, because I really think because saving the X date all the way till now, till the
there's
very
so
end,
much to talk about.
there's so much to talk about, and they're all now they carry so much baggage of the whole show
Right.
that they feel like they can't just go right away and be like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have to dance around with one another.
Well, because it's predicated on being like a date, you don't want to
Yes.
start it off hot and be like, so what the fuck?
Because they in last season they did the X dates a little earlier.
Yeah.
But except for the people who came in late. So like Haeyeon and Gyumin.
It was still in Seoul.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But Haeyeon and Gyumin, their X date, they had like a little talk after she went to the X room, but their X date literally was the second to last day. And like Gyumin was like, shit, this sucks.
Yeah.
Because actually spending time with you, I was like, oh, this is how we're supposed to get closure, not
Yeah.
just from me not thinking about you.
We'll talk about that strategy some more. Don't worry.
Yes, that reappears. But I do feel bad for both of them. I just can't watch Juwon cry. For some reason, something activates in me and I get so emotional
He
watching
wipes his
Juwon
eyes like a child. Where it's like he grabs
He grabs his sleeve.
I wish I didn't. Well, even when he had
Oh.
the tissue, it's like so like.
Yes. It's like how my brother uses a napkin when he eats.
Oh, girl. One napkin
Crumples
it with wipes, and then that's when the napkin is done. We need a new napkin for the next bite.
And then I told Adam, I was like, in the Philippines, the napkins are literally this big and you have to ask for it. You don't get like a stack of napkins at McDonald's or whatever.
That is crazy to me. But like, it's crazy to me because like
It's not like we're
Asia
eating.
in general is obsessed with like single-use plastic, but like we're gonna draw the line at paper napkins. That's where we're gonna be like, no girlies, we're putting our foot down and in for
Imagine
Greta Thunberg, honey. What?
Yeah.
Okay. I got very emotional. I think I was more emotional at how
Then Huihyun and Hyeon.
that was emotional too, but I would think I was more emotional like how affected Seokyeong was. Cause I think
Yeah.
I think Seokyeong is gonna leave the show.
With Hyeon.
I think Seokyeong is gonna leave the show, and I think she's gonna have regrets
I think so too.
about the show. Because I think heading into it, she thought the show was going to be one thing and it turned out to be something different.
Yeah.
But I think she realized it too late.
Yes.
And that's a bummer because I think she could have. I mean, she had a lot of opportunities to go on dates, but I just think she had like a formula in her head of how this should work and how she will like win. And I'm not saying that pejoratively, but like have an acceptable time on the show. And I just think in the last, and since Jeju, she's been like, what's going, this was not what I want. This is not what I planned. Do you know what I'm singing? And I just gotta say, I do not understand. Something is really... The last X date, which you knew whoever was the last X date was gonna be the worst one because that's how you're gonna set it up. So when we got to Juwon and Seokyoung, I was like, and Daehye and Dongjin still hadn't gone. I was like,
the exit is going to ruin all of us.
It's going to be bad.
They accidentally wear matching outfits.
I can't. The whole date felt like a
dream.
Yes.
Yeah. They accidentally wear matching outfits. They're in the car. You find out they're going to a photo studio. And the entire time they're there, they're like, we never had nice pictures taken because our entire relationship was predicated on a secret.
Right.
Because she was an idol and she's not allowed to date someone publicly.
Yep.
And Daehye is getting emotional.
Daehye gets emotional first before they start doing the shoot while they're like getting ready.
Yes. And they sit down and start taking pictures. And Dongjin unravels.
Loses it.
He cannot keep it together.
Because they both say this individually. They do not talk about this and say it together. Individually, they both say it felt like this was the last goodbye.
This is the last goodbye. That we're taking these pictures as a last...
It's like a graduation.
Yes. And like it comes like head on to Dongjin. Even though he has spent the entire show trying to be like, I'm not giving her an in. When truly it was at this moment where you were like, you did that because you don't want
right
to give yourself another in.
Because, well, this is the thing. And this is the thing he said over and over and over. His strategy has not changed. And strategy, whatever. It was not that he didn't believe he knew he had feelings for her still.
Yeah.
But he also knew that his resolve to not get back in this relationship was stronger than that. So it was partially he didn't want to sway her because he knew even if he was swayed, he still was like, it is better for me to not be in this relationship anymore because I cannot be a good person to her anymore. Yeah. I cannot be that boyfriend that she needs me to be. And I think that's very... I'm going to say it's very, like, it's very emotionally complex.
Yeah.
Because your heart wants what your heart wants, but, like, I don't even know if it's a level of, like, well, you just need to work on it. Like, if you're at a place...
It's that thing of, like, you want to wish the other person happiness, but it's gotten to a point of, like, it can't be me anymore. Even if I tried really hard... I am not the person that can make her happy anymore. And they take these pictures and he cannot keep it together because it is just flooding. He's like, all of the moments, all of the pictures that we've taken, all of it just come rushing back because this seals the deal that, like, yep, what I wanted, what I was working hard to make sure that we don't get back together because I know it was right. It's finally here and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get back together.
There's like a bit where he brings out a film camera that he's had the whole time he's been on the show but hasn't used because he didn't find a great time to use it. And it was
with any of the dates, any of the girls.
And he had learned how to use this camera for like her portfolio.
Yeah. So he could take pictures of.
So he took more pictures of her.
And he basically was like, she is the only one I feel like I can take pictures on film now.
And then he gets in the car. He cries alone. He cries again.
Cries alone in the car.
And then they go to this pasta dinner. And at the very end,
I know. At the very end, when they get the text that their ex date is done, she just asks for a hug.
she asks for one final hug. And he gives her the hug.
And he can't hug her.
And
completely.
he can't fully hug her.
He can't fully hug her.
Because it's too hard. And she is... We have not, to Dae's full credit, she has not cried like this since like episode 3. Like the third day in Seoul.
When she was crying alone in the attic.
Yes, like before the Kwangtae run.
Yes, because Dongjin had come home with Yoo Jung.
Yes. That was the last time she like fully had lost it.
And she was like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
This felt just so incredibly sad.
I know.
Because I think, unfortunately, this is probably for the best.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
But
that's
like,
so hard. You know, it's for the best.
They both seem like such wonderful people.
Yeah.
And like,
two people that we don't know, but we've watched 138 hours of since December. It's so fucking stupid. I hate what we do.
I want, like, in a perfect world, they have like 2 years apart. They figure it out.
They have the K-drama epilogue.
And then they get back together.
The last episode is the epilogue.
Yes.
And they're like,
it was you all along.
it was you all along.
Like that.
Because that's what you want to hear.
Right.
Right?
And maybe it isn't. And that's also okay. And like maybe then it's totally acceptable to like, this is very, in like 2 years, they like marry someone else. They have whatever
And
lives.
you get the La La Land.
You get the La La Land. You get
And
the Umbrellas of Cherbourg.
I just want them to have that moment.
I just want them to get there.
I want them to get
We're
there.
not at the place, like right
No.
now. Yeah.
I want them to get to the place 8 years later where they're both with their families. They happen to meet. And they're both just
She
like
drives up with her daughter at the gas station,
that he owns with Hyewon.
Oh my God.
And she's just like, I'm happy that you're doing well. And he goes, I'm happy that you're doing well too. And they just
And mean it with complete sincerity.
Like so sincerity. Maybe there's a little bit of regret. Maybe there's a little bit of longing of like
There's a
what could it be?
melancholia, yeah.
But then it's just like, and then they move on with their lives. It's so emotional because
I'm going to
because they say that they could actually make it work now. They can have they can have the relationship that they want now. They're able to have a public relationship now.
And there's so much that they didn't get to do that they would like. It would be like their first time doing a bunch of stuff. Yeah. We will jump to the end just for this because it's all
To finish them.
Just to finish, that. It's the middle of the night, and Dongjin has not gone to sleep. He has decided it's time to open his breakup box.
His breakup box that Dahae gave him.
That everyone else opened episode 2.
And they all know that he has not opened it.
Correct. He opens this box and it's a pair of shoes that he gave Dahae
While he was in the military.
when he got out.
It
was like a thank you gift for waiting for him for so long. And then he like and then he cries and he says that he told her that he would always make her happy. And then he says he couldn't.
And then
the show sucks. Don't watch the show.
And then by saying, because I waited till now to open this, if I had just opened it when I got it and would be reminded of these feelings, I could have at least made her a little happy in these last 2 weeks. And I couldn't even do that. So for him, it was like another reminder
of like that he's failed.
He has failed again. But the thing is, you never really, still to this day, you still don't get, till this episode, you don't get a deep conversation from them like Changjin and Yoojung of like, this is what went wrong.
Because there's not one specific thing. That's the problem.
13 years, yeah.
It's 13 years, and it's a mountain of tiny little, like stalks of hay that just have made this massive mountain.
She would be like, no, you did not fail me.
Right.
But like, there's no saying that anymore, you know? Like,
I think the worst case scenario, not worst case scenario, but like in actuality, when he says like, I started to resent her, I think what he's not saying with that is like, a part of me started falling out of love with her.
Yeah.
And I think that is the thing that he is unable to say, because it's almost too crushing to even say to himself, let alone like to
the person that you're supposed to be
her, but also the world. Like it's so like, but at some point you do fall out of love with people. That's how you're able to break up and move on with someone else. I think that's the thing that's like so sad, is that is why he's so dead set on like not getting back together, because I think he would feel more guilt that he would be doing it, but like it would be a lie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because he still cares a lot for Daihye, but I have a feeling that it is not to the level that it once was. And I think that's the worst part of this whole thing. And she seems like such a wonderful, sweet, kind person. And of course, I'm sure they've had their like issues or whatever, but oh, that was so hard to watch. So Kwangtae and Seokyoung matched. Okay. Big ups for Kwangtae. And he is like, I really think you should like just going for it. Like,
there's really nothing left there. You really should start new.
Truly. I'm like, right here. I'm laying it all on the line. Bobbity bobbity blah. The amount of skinship going on, I felt like I was watching porn. Like, I was like, why are we holding hands?
They lay down on the beach. He grabs her hand in the car.
He grabbed her. They were just holding hands in the car. I thought I was going to crawl out of my skin. I could not believe what I was witnessing on screen.
It was so,
to be clear,
scandalous.
Couldn't have been more tame if it tried. Truly.
A handhold on episode 19.
On episode 19 of 20.
And I felt like I was watching a full frontal.
Yes. I was. Yeah.
Insane.
This was Brazzers, bitch. I could not believe it.
Want a break from the ads? Crazy.
Yeah. LinkedIn profile.
Pussy and bio.
So that's fun. I mean, I don't hate the idea of those two.
I don't hate the idea of those two, because
she is a person that really needs like a lot of attention,
and he is a person who loves to give attention. That's the thing.
All you have to do for him to like be happy is just be like, "I love you,"
and you know, and you will do it, because you even this date, you're like, "You're so handsome, you're so pretty."
Yeah. I don't hate them together.
I don't hate them together. I
know. So Changjin, Daehye have their match date, and theirs is a full like. It was really nice getting to spend time with you on the show, and I'm really glad you were here so that we could like work through, commiserate together.
It felt more like the closure for Daehye. So because she says it,
the closure, yeah. Because I think Changjin had already been like,
Well, Dae says it like it's very clear that you've always been true to your feelings for Jeong.
yeah,
Because even before the exes were revealed, he made it he opened up about how like I can't even look at my ex here. Like it's still I still feel those feelings. And for Dae, it was like you showed me that like I am capable of being loved again.
yeah.
Which like
It's so huge. I mean, that's like truly, that is the point of the rebound is like, oh, you can finally feel desired again.
Yes.
Like you are actually like available. You're able to like do these things, blah, 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 blah. And I'm so happy. This show would have been horrendous to watch if Dae had not had anyone
I know.
who was like interested in her.
I know.
And even if Changjin wasn't, it was just like, oh, she's pretty and she's nice, and that's all it was. Like at least it was that. Like,
and at least like he felt comfortable with her. You know.
I don't know what the show would have been like if someone had immediately off the bat, as soon as Sangjeong got there, tried to like get with Sangjeong.
Yeah.
Like if she had been like, oh, maybe there is another avenue and I don't have to go back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The thing with Dae, it would like happen and it's so quickly, but she said like it had to be you that came. Like she was like, I was expecting a younger guy, and he mentions Hyungyu from the previous season. She was like, I thought it was gonna be another Hyungyu, but then you come in, you're older, you're tall, you're kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like she was like, and I was like, well, shit.
yeah.
I just thought it was funny because I think that definitely like this interaction, I think shows a age that like they're mature enough to talk about their time together in this way. And then also at the end of the episode when Changjin and Jeong continue, Dae is like a major part of it.
Yeah. Wingman.
Yeah.
For Jeong.
For Jeong.
Yeah.
And like shows like I see the caring person that you want to try and believe is there.
Yeah.
With Changjin. As someone who didn't know him, I see it.
Yeah.
So I think you deserve a chance to see it too.
Yeah.
It's just something about when adults.
I know.
There's so.
I know. It's very nice. It's so respectful, and it's so. The fact that the big takeaway is just them both like being grateful for each other.
Yeah.
I was like, this is wonderful.
That's what you get. That's what you want to. For me, I'm sure like people who are like, no, I want that to be messy. But for me, I want people to come out of this experience like better and like a better understanding of themselves.
Yeah. Totally. The next date is Dongjin and Hyeon. And this is the worst Dongjin Hyeon date that's happened on the show.
The entire time you can tell that Dongjin is just not. He's not in her.
Both of them.
Both of them have been
Hyeon is like like she just witnessed like war. Like she is shell shocked. They both like are
and
out of it.
Dongjin feels like he's been shut in like he just woke up. Like it feels like the last 8 hours have been like
a revelation.
Yeah. And now he's like, hi.
It is interesting that they talk about how they are like tethered to the beach. Like their first date was at the beach.
They come back multiple times.
They went to Jeju at the beach. They did the night stroll at the beach in Jeju. So I thought that was interesting. And we'll get more montages in just a moment with another couple. The weird part is like Hyeon feels like he gives her mixed messages right at the end here, where she is unsure if he's saying like, if he was basically like, oh, this time was fun on the show, or if he like actually is like looking for something. 'Cause she's like, I want to pick someone at the end who I can see a future with, but I don't know if Dongjin can see a future with me, or if I've just been like
something to help him.
Something, to get through the show with. I think they could be something.
I think so too.
For any of these people, if you're able to do the show and then stay with the person after the show, there's just like a lot that no one else will understand after the world has watched you be like sometimes the worst version of yourself.
Yeah.
Not really for everybody on the show. I think like
but parts that you know that
are uncomfy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I'm like, that's what I hate most about myself.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Like, because Dongjin, I think, says like being in like starting a new relationship is really scary. And I thought of when it was revealed that him and Daihye were the like 13-year couple, and he was worried that it was going to put pressure on Hye-won. But then it's always like he's worried about the other person, but I'm like, really, Dongjin, you're worried about like yourself.
Because
like,
all of them is always like, you're covering your true fears. They're being like, well, she's going to feel pressured because you are scared.
I'm scared of like starting something new, which is
Yeah.
totally understandable.
He does say it here. It's like, are my feelings right now because I'm experiencing everything for the first time again? And is that going to burden you?
Juwon and Yoojung go on their little match date.
Yes.
And
Adam, they have this date, and it is a clip show.
Fully.
Remember when we had dinner? Oh, remember when we did this?
Yes.
And then that time we went shooting,
Yeah.
and they play all the clips.
Yes.
This has convinced me that they are not ending together. They are both.
You said this, and I think I agree with you.
I think Juwon will pick Sangjeong.
It laid it on
so
too
thick.
Yeah.
They were the show was producing it to show that
I think
like
he's gonna fumble the bag.
I think he's gonna pick Sangjeong.
I think she's gonna pick him, and he's gonna pick Sangjeong.
I still think she's gonna pick Jeongjin.
I don't think she's gonna pick Jeongjin. I don't know. I think she's gonna pick Juwon. I think the craziest part of this show is that I think Yoojung is going to walk home alone.
I know.
And I feel so enraged about that already as something that hasn't even happened yet.
She is the girl who had to cast away a guy.
Yes.
There was a guy that was so into her that she had to be like, no.
Yeah.
I've already made up my mind, and it's pretty clear from both of us.
She had to Wilson a man.
And then
from
Jeju
Castaway.
happened, and like her plans went awry. Not only from Juwon, but then also from Jeongjin. I think she was like, fuck, I didn't want to be swayed.
I feel like this is, I think, adds to your
My
thought.
theorem.
The theorem. She is so like, you've been so fantastic. You're so fascinating. Like, I've really like loved being with you on the show, blah, blah, blah. And he's
Quiet.
tepid.
There are moments in the car where he's like trying to create sparks. And he does. Like, she falls asleep. She falls asleep, and he's like, just sleep. And he like maneuvers so that way she can lay her head on his shoulder.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. And you can tell like that's the kind of boyfriend he is.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I don't want you to be right. I don't want you to be right. Maybe he'll pick Jong-un. Who knows? Could you add
I do have room for another person.
I do.
A brand new person.
But like, who is Jong? First of all, a girl who was not in this episode.
She had one line
so clear.
And it was basically like, how was your date with Dongjin?
Truly. Can I say one thing before we go to these final conversations, which is really just boiled down to Juwon, Sangjeong, Changjin, Juwon. Yoojung, not Juwon. Changjin and Juwon need to decide if they're going to get together. Daehye and Yoojung, like when Yoojung is crying with Daehye, it is the most like I'm so happy the girls especially have like found friendship on the show.
Totally.
And a similar thing, this is what was crazy, is like a similar thing happened with Nayeon Haeun last year, where they got really close. It was crazy because Nayeon was the one that Gyumin
was causing Haeun suffering, basically.
But like they were such like they got really close.
Yes.
So that was really nice. But I felt like a similar thing here where I was so happy that Yoo Jung
She was looking for her. She was like, is Dahae back? Because I need to talk to her.
It was so sweet.
And she's like, she has this face mask on and she's crying because she's like, why do I feel so swayed?
When they get done with their match dates, Changjin and Yoo Jung talk about their issues. He comes up to her bedroom and he wrote notes on his phone for him to remember what he wanted to say, which I think some people would find irritating. I think it's very charming.
I think for someone like him too, who's not a talker.
And I think it's like, I am thinking about how I need to like be different. I think it's like I think it's evidence. And I think she is more she gets frustrated with him when he calls her cute because she insinuates that like
every time we have a serious conversation, you'll like kind of debase it by just saying like, "Oh, you're so cute right now."
Right.
And for him, he's like, "But you are." Like I'm expressing.
Right.
Isn't the
And I think some of the frustration is real, but I also think some of her frustration is at her own self that she's like throwing out at him because she is frustrated that as we all like on the show, we were like, episode whatever 16, 15, we were like her and Ju-won are picking each other. Just like walk to the end. It's fine.
Just walk to the end.
And now like all of a sudden, right at the end, she's like, why am I thinking about
Changjin? Why do I want to do this again?
Yeah. And I think she's annoyed with herself because she had such a clear resolution when she started the show being like, I'm cutting the ribbon. I'm cutting the string. I'm not doing this again. And to his credit, I mean, Changjin, the fact that by not doing a ton, he has like already swayed her.
Yeah, I know.
Is huge. But I think what I like about what I was saying earlier, that he's like not pushy, is that I think it's like a real respect. She is such her own person. And it's such a sign of respect of being like, but I know I trust you to like think about your thoughts and like really sit and ruminate and decide what is best for you. And he says like, I just want you to be happy.
Yeah.
I want whatever. And if you don't pick me, I'll be bummed. But like, I would rather you be happy than like whatever. You pick me only because you feel like a sense of obligation. Ju-won and Seok-hyung
continued their conversation.
Seok-hyung says that Ju-won is too significant in her heart. She still will not say, and she doesn't have to, like what way she's going to pick. I just don't know how much the wishy-washiness is going to like help her in the end.
I just get a sense that Ju-won thinks that Seok-hyung is the one that got away. And I do feel because she ghosted him.
I mean, that's a huge thing.
Huge.
That like
shut you out.
The fact that they never bring up, and I'm like, that's all I would ever talk about.
It was like the fact
I
that
would
you
never let it go. I want to be so clear. I think that's crazy. I think it's one thing.
You just shut me out of your life.
It's one thing to ghost someone on Tinder, on Grindr, whatever.
But block your boyfriend?
And the fact that this isn't the first time I've heard of this in like a Korean dating show is crazy.
And the first time you see each other again is the pre-interview for the show.
Yes. I think it's so wild that it's one thing to be like, they still cannot find resolution on this night. The night where she fell asleep and her eyes got dry. Okay, fine. I think it's wild that she has never apologized for being like, I acted too rashly and I shouldn't have blocked you, or I shouldn't have ghosted you, or I shouldn't have disappeared. That's the one thing where I'm like, it's so hard. It
was so easy for you to cast away our relationship.
Of all the people on the show, I think it's so hard for me to see it from her perspective.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm also such a person that is willing to like say I'm sorry so quickly, because sometimes to a fault. Like
when it's not even your fault.
when it's not even my fault, sometimes I apologize. But so that's why I get not frustrated, but I always try to like see it from hers, and hers is the one that I'm always like I'm searching to understand. And then Yu Jeong interrupts them. Which is so
She's so funny. She's like, "Hey, is Dahae here?" Oh, like the two people that she does not want to see.
You don't need to walk in on this conversation. It's so funny to me. Every one of these buildings has a wall of windows on one side. It's just not the door side. And they refuse to go look in to see.
They just blindly go into the door.
When this is the night before the final decision, even if it wasn't the two of them, you are probably walking into a weird conversation no matter who is out and about.
It is. At the end of the episode, Dahae and Yu Jeong are talking, and that's where Yu Jeong cries to Dahae, and she's like, "I need to." What
time do you think it is? Probably like 4 a.m.
Yeah. She's like, "I have to sort out my feelings. I need to talk to Changjin right now."
Yeah.
Dahae is the one that goes to the room. Mm-hmm. So that way she doesn't have to walk in on both Juwon and Changjin's room because they are roommates.
In bed together.
Dahae walks in and basically like wakes up Changjin. And she's like, he's like, what? He's like, just come downstairs. He comes downstairs and Yu Jeong is there and is like, we have to talk now, basically. And he's like, what? He's like stumbling. It's very funny. It's really... That's why I feel like the show is a fucking play. It's so stupid.
I know.
They finally talk in the big room. And Yu Jeong is basically like, I need you to tell me right now that it will not happen again. Mm-hmm. And he's basically like... He basically says it like, yes, I've learned my lesson. What I have done here this week... in this show, this experience has really opened me up to know that I am capable of sharing more. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I want to do with you. Mm-hmm. And she basically says, like, I am swayed so much by the opportunity to start something else. And he's like, I didn't. He basically is like, you're really swayed that hard.
Yeah, he was a little shocked.
And he basically, in his talking head, says, I now have to, my goal now at the end is to make sure that I am prepared for whatever it ends up being. And I have to prepare for the worst.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going to happen. Truly. I don't think, let's go... I'm not going to make predictions again. I don't think Dongjin is going to pick Dahae. I think he's still going to pick K1.
They are playing it up, but I really think he's going to pick K1.
I think it's the whole thing always comes back to that he has made a decision that he cannot be with her anymore.
Yeah. I think Dahae will choose Dongjin.
I think she's going to choose Dongjin because I think it would be pointless to choose Changjin. She knows she's not interested. I don't even think it's all that, but I think it's like, I have...
Who are you rooting for the most? Root for a couple.
I'm going to go with an off-the-wall one. I will root for Kwangtae and Seokyeong. Because I think if that happens, then everything else is going to happen the way I want it to happen. Mm-hmm. So if that happens, that means I'm in the clear.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, this is going to be floppy automaxiata.
I'm going to be screaming. It's going to be like the Super Bowl, and we will be screaming in this house.
I can't. It's going to be a goop. It's going to be a gag. Who are you rooting for? Couple or outcome?
I am rooting for Changjin and Yu Jeong.
You are.
I
like Juwon
and Yu Jeong's chemistry so much. Is so it clicks. And she is so playful. She is so open to being playful with him.
There is something I think this is the frustrating part about the show is like I think it's I think people deserve second chances, but I also think it's okay to not get a second chance too. So I'm fine either way with the Changjin thing.
But I think to me, Changjin has fully
he's actually grown and learned
and convinced me that he will be better.
He's grown. He's learned.
But what's hard is that Yoo-jung is like, it's hard because he's saying all this knowing that his hardships have ended ostensibly, and now he is in the career that he wants to be in.
Right.
So the fear,
but what about the next time?
True fear for Yoo-jung will be like, but all of a sudden, if it goes to shit, am I on the outs again?
Yeah.
And I almost wish that, and it probably has happened in conversations and we don't get it, but I almost want her to be like, if all of a sudden your startup just fails.
But Juwon on this show, anytime she talks about him and she like is like, how did it go with whatever, like he'll honestly be like, it was hard, like da 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 da, and that means so much to her.
Yes,
that's the thing is like,
yeah,
if she picks Juwon, it's because she's like,
she doesn't want to be with Changjin again.
She doesn't want to be with Changjin again, and she's sure to get with Juwon what she didn't get with Changjin.
Yes.
Being with Juwon might come with its own set of challenges. Yes, we don't know. But this is the question. Devil you know, devil you don't.
She is, for her, the decision is more about not wanting to do it again or to give it another shot. Mm-hmm. Because she openly knows that Juwon may not pick her.
Yeah.
And it's almost not even about what he wants.
I think this episode was pushing for him to pick her, especially in their match date. She was kind of like,
please tell him, like,
yeah, but I think she's gonna walk out and be fine no matter what happens. And that's why she's iconic.
Yeah.
And that's why she's a queen. And that's why she's the leader of the free world.
My president.
My president. We did it, Yoo-jung. We did it, Yoo-jung.